The 2026 NFL Draft is loaded with running back talent, but our top 10 rankings might shock you. Stay tuned to find out which names made our lists for this class. 2026 NFL Draft features a number of prospects that could become impactful running backs for any NFL franchise. Ryan, today we're revealing our top 10 running backs, guys that we are the most excited about. I admittedly a little bit surprised by how low I was on some of the bigger names and how high I was on some of the unexpected ones. When you looked at this running back group, what were just the big overarching standout thoughts?
I think it's a deep class in the sense of, I think like the mid-round, late-round guys, especially, like there's a plethora of those types of dudes. And it's different packages, as it typically is, but you're going to see some bigger body guys. You're going to see a lot of speedy guys. You're going to see a lot of guys that are a little bit undersized but project favorably in obvious passing situations on third down. So I think it's a good mixture of backs. I will say, Joe, I mostly agree with your analysis at the top. I think that we have one elite running back, and I think we have a group of like 3 to 4 that are very good players outside of him, but then it kind of tapers off a little bit after that. So I think that this group, I think, will be defined by one player up top and then the mid-round depth that you're going to get. That's kind of how I phrase this class.
It's a little bit of a return to the norm, but this is still, last year's draft class was an aberration. It is not going to happen as often as we see the level of depth of running back talent that we got in 2025. 2026, it's a good class for a typical running back class because there's a lot of really good rotational secondary running backs that can fit specific roles, which is why I think today's conversation is going to be awesome. I'm going to start us off, as we always do, with my 10 through 6. My number 10, Damon Claiborne from Wake Forest. Number 9, Jaheim White from West Virginia. Number 8, Jonah Coleman from Washington. Number 7, Makhi Hughes from Oregon. And number 6, Quinten Joyner, who was formerly at USC and is now at Texas Tech. Thoughts?
So there's a couple guys in there that are in my top 10 as well. So I don't want to go over those guys too much because we're going to have a deeper conversation about them, especially one you just said is in my top 5. So we're definitely going to have a deeper conversation about him. Talk to me about, I have a draftable grade on Jaheim White, but who is the running back out of West Virginia, by the way. The other running back, C.J. Donaldson, transferred to Ohio State this offseason. I liked Jaheim White. I think Jaheim White will play in the NFL, but the size, explosiveness combination did kind of worry me a little bit, so I guess maybe talk me into him a little bit more.
I understand the concerns, and he was a player that I started to watch, like a lot of these guys that I kind of latch onto and end up really liking. I started to watch him, and I was really underwhelmed. I was like, oh, this guy's really small. His play strength, it's not great. He ends up immediately on contact. He ends up going down. But as I started to see more and more of his big splash plays, I was ready to buy into the body control, the explosiveness, the quick feet. I think that he's somebody who, as we're talking about, a lot of these guys are very role specific. If I drafted him in 4th round range and I plugged him in to be my second running back, and I've got a bigger body guy and he is going to be my shifty, small, compact space killer, I think that that's the result that you're hoping here with Jaheim White. He's not for everybody, but I just really liked that profile that was so unique that he can be really just shifty and hard to track down because he's small and he's explosive.
So none of these guys made my top 10, but there is it's an interesting like small running back conversation in the mid rounds because you mentioned Jaheim White. I would throw Desmond Reed, the running back out of Pittsburgh, who's a former Western Carolina transfer. And then I would also throw Dylan Edwards out of Kansas State, maybe potentially, even though he's super small. I actually prefer Desmond Reed.
Could go in there too.
Yeah.
I would throw him in there.
Yep. DJ Campbell is CJ Campbell, out of the Rutgers, who was the transfer from Florida Atlantic, right? Florida Atlantic.
Yes, Florida Atlantic. Yes. He's now at Rutgers.
Yep. So, he's at Rutgers now. He transferred to Rutgers.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So, of those smaller back, though, do you know which one I prefer out of those smaller backs?
Who's that?
Desmond Reed. I like Desmond Reed, man. He didn't make my top
Did
10,
he
but I like Desmond Reed.
He didn't make your top 10? Okay.
No, none of those guys made my top 10, but there is a world where they play a significant role in the NFL. It's just a very specific role is the best way to put it. The other one that I'm surprised on, before I get into my list, I thought, based on past conversations, that I was higher on Jonah Coleman than you. But I do not think that's the case anymore.
Or did he make your top 10?
He didn't. No. And I like him. Like I still have a, what did I have on Jonah Coleman? I had a top 150 grade on Jonah Coleman. Like I like Jonah Coleman, but no, he did not make my top 10.
Coleman for me he reminds me a ton of Kyle Monangai. Doesn't have that top gear. Does not have that gear where he's going to separate, and he's very average long speed. But man, I would take him over Kaytron Allen. Kaytron Allen did not make my top 10. I would take him over Kaytron Allen because he's got wiggle and patience in short areas, which I thought was super promising. But he has awesome contact balance and he has awesome play strength. And he, just like Kyle Monangai, knows how to win in a phone booth by running through guys. He's he's bowling ball built. He doesn't really fit the description of the smaller running backs we're bringing up. He's smaller, but he's heavy as hell, and he delivers a punch. I would 100% take Jonah Coleman before I would take Kaytron Allen.
I agree 100% with that take. And of course, this is the Washington running back for people that are just listeners who do not like to watch the screen as they digest their YouTube. We're talking about the Washington running back who was a former transfer from Arizona. My 10 through 6. Number 10, Justice Haynes, the Alabama transfer to Michigan. Number 9, Makhi Hughes, running back from Oregon. Number 8, Jaden Ott, the running back from Oklahoma, transfer from Cal. Number 7, CJ Baxter, the running back who is coming back from injury in 2024 from Texas. And then I have DeMond Claiborne from Wake Forest at number 6.
Wow, you're high on Claiborne. I thought I was going to be super bullish on Claiborne. I realize now that there's a good number of guys that I didn't get to. Jaden Ott was difficult to evaluate because of him being super banged up last year, but he's somebody who I think is going to be a big riser in this class. Let's talk about Makhi Hughes, though, before we end up moving to our top 5s. He is somebody who is nationally beloved. He was highly rated in the transfer portal, but I think that we could put into better context that this is more of a 3rd, 4th round pick of a prospect. His long speed isn't great because there's a handful of times where you see him do everything right, where he's making guys miss, and then he gets caught. What did you think of Makhi Hughes? Because we both had him in the same range.
First and foremost, I believe he is, the Oregon 5-star corner, the freshman that was committed to Ohio State that flipped. Do you know who I'm talking about? What's his name?
I'm forgetting his name, but he is related to him.
Yes, I was going to say, I think they're cousins or something like that. It was just like a weird little side note there. Makhi Hughes is completely different than what I thought he was going to be coming into the watching. I thought, Joe, based upon just casual watching on Saturdays, that this kid was just going to be a early down plugger with not a ton of explosiveness. I thought he was going to be Kaytron Allen, to be honest. Like I thought he was Kaytron Allen as a player when I just was watching broadcast. Then I watched the film, and this kid's explosive, man. While he might not have like a crazy top gear, he gets up to his top gear in a flash, and he's got really good acceleration, and he's 5'10", 5'11", 210 pounds. So he's a pretty densely built kid as well. And I like his vision ultimately as well. I think his first to second level vision is also very good. So I wasn't high, and the NFL turned out to not be high on the, I'm blanking on names this morning, but the running back for Oregon last year that was very productive.
Jordan James.
Jordan James. I did not like Jordan James as a player, but I love the Oregon running system, which is why Jordan James was a productive college running back. I am dreaming of what this can look like with Makhi Hughes versus what it was with Jordan James. People fell in love with Jordan James because of just raw production, the box score stuff, that type of thing. And then he ends up going in like the 6th round in the NFL draft. And you're like, that's actually where he was probably pegged more often than not. So I'm excited to see him in that running system at Oregon compared to what he was at Tulane. He had to work through a lot of trash at Tulane, man. Like it was just not, it wasn't pretty. A lot of heavy boxes because Darian Mensah is a very talented quarterback, but he was also a very young quarterback, right? So people were like, we need to stop Hughes. In a more advantageous running game situation, I think that Makhi Hughes could be a really successful player at Oregon this year.
All right, I'm going to jump over to my number 5 running back in the 2026 NFL draft, Justice Haynes from Michigan. I think that he had one of the best blends of power, physicality, as well as burst. He was somebody who drove through contact really well in the very small. He didn't get a lot of carries, so this was one of those guys who was kind of hard to evaluate because you didn't get to see a player who was building up momentum through the course of a game because his touches were so limited because he was splitting them with Jam Miller as well as Jalen Milroe. I really also liked that, like the way that he bursted in and out of his cuts. I thought that he had great acceleration and was able to pick up speed. And the vision for me as well was reliable. He's patient. He's downhill. He's not going to try and overly bounce things outside. He is just going to take the rock. He's going to take what's given to him. And then some instances, he will create extra yardage in short areas. So I think that Justin Haynes is the exact profile that I'm looking for in a third-round running back that could maybe be a primary back or at the very least is going to be an awesome, really good second running back in the NFL.
Yep, Justice Haynes, Alabama transfer to Michigan, also the son of Veron Haynes that was a Georgia Bulldog and played in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers for quite a bit of time. I had him at number 10, Joe. I love the athletes. Like, I think he's explosive as all hell, right? Like, and he gets downhill in a hurry, and he's got good change of direction for a stronger built back. I actually did not love the vision as much as you, though. I think that's the semi-difference. I thought that he was a little impatient at times with his vision, and he kind of just tried to hit a little bit too quickly, didn't let things develop in front of him. And I don't know, like when I came out watching him, I'm like, I think he's a really good runner, but I'm not sure he's a great running back. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know.
He doesn't have enough experience, I feel like, for how limited his touches were. And I think that Michigan and how much they value running the football and how much they're probably going to use Bryce Underwood in the run game this year. I really think that this is a season where he gets unlocked. You know, he gets to, they just give him the ball 20 times a game and he ends up having as much production as, you know, Blake Corum was having. He's a much better player than what Donovan Edwards was. He was a much better player than Kyle Mullings. I think he's going to be a lot more productive than Mullings this past year. I think he's an overall better running back than both of those guys. Corum had such great vision, and because he played so much, there's a really good shot to me that Haynes takes advantage of that. Who do you have at number 5?
Number 5 for me, Le'Veon Moss from Texas A&M. Joe, if my guy could stay healthy, he could be running back 2 in this class. Like, he could be. It's possible, man. He is sturdily built, incredibly explosive, physical runner, creates a lot of second effort runs. I like his vision as well. Like, I think, especially in inside zone hunting scheme, I do think that he has good patience to the front side, but can find his cutback to the weak side. And in obvious, I struggle with him so much just because he's not available that much, right? Like, back-to-back years, he's just been banged up, missed multiple games. I wanted to grade him higher because I think he is, outside of my number 1, I think he is the most natural runner of anyone in this class potentially. But is he going to be available? I mean, he ran for over 600 yards last year. He mostly did that in like 8 football games, right? Like, stay healthy behind one of the better offensive lines in college football. I think that Le'Veon Moss could be a top 50 selection next April. It's all going to hinder on if he's able to finally stay on the field consistently.
He was number 4 for me. I'm a very big Le'Veon Moss fan. One of the negatives, and I try not to like too heavily weigh in any injury concerns with a guy because a new season is always a new opportunity to show what you are. He's had ample time to recover, but he's such a physical runner that if you're going to be this physical and you keep getting banged up, it's going to catch up to you. That's what's like really saddening. Omarion Hampton didn't really have an injury history. That was why it was easy to get excited about Omarion Hampton as a prospect being physical. Moss does have these problems. However, I love Le'Veon Moss. He's one of my favorite prospects in this class, man. He is one of the few guys when I was watching him and I was like, oh, hell yes. Out loud. Said that unprompted. It felt natural and normal for me to do that out loud. He is so aggressive. He loves to hit people and he's got pretty good burst. Not like a true burner that's going to separate and he's got that gear that he's just going to completely turn in every big hit into a touchdown.
He can run though. He can run.
He can run though. He can run.
He was like a 10, 600 meter guy in high school or something like that. Like he can run, man. Like he's not slow by any means. He's probably going to run like high 4.4. Yes. I bet you he runs probably somewhere similar to a Marion Hampton that you just mentioned. Like he's going to run something similar to that.
He can move. And I think that he's the exact physical profile for like what the NFL looks for in a number one running back. I wouldn't be shocked if like he does get drafted early. He has like a really good rookie season and then his career just kind of starts to slow down because of the injury stuff. Yeah. But I love him though, dude. He's one of my favorite prospects.
I don't think here's a 1-for-1 comparison, and it's not the same because resume is a part of this, production is a part of this. All these things are kind of baked into one evaluation process. But is Marion Hampton more talented than Le'Veon Moss as a pure runner? I wouldn't say so.
I think he was a little bit more explosive than Moss.
I don't agree. I don't agree at all. Okay. I don't even slightly agree. What a horrible take that is, honestly. Horrible
stop
take.
Stop. Marion Hampton tested out of his mind. I think that Le'Veon Moss is going to test
out of his mind too, man.
I think he's going to test really well too, but I don't think that we could sit here and say that Marion Hampton justifiably went where he did. He probably should have gone at the beginning of this second round. I know you didn't like Marion Hampton. He wasn't.
No, I didn't dislike Marion Hampton. I just didn't think he should be a first round pick. I just didn't think he was a first round running back. That's all. That's another conversation. We've had that conversation 97 times in the last 3 months, though. Yes. So it's fine.
So my 5 and 4 are on the table. Who's your number 4?
Number 4 for me is Jamal Haynes, the running back out of Georgia Tech. Joe, he's small, man. He's 5'9", he's 190-something pounds, but my guy is a killer in space, man. Like, he makes guys miss in such tight quarter. He is a former wide receiver earlier in his career, so he's got natural hands as a pass catcher. He has really good first to second level vision, but man, he just makes guys miss in such small spaces. Like, it's absurd. And he gets up to top speed in a blink of an eye. Like, acceleration is bananas. Long speed is good. This kid is a great athlete. Another guy, though, that has dealt a little bit with durability stuff because he's 190-something pounds. Like, he's a smaller back. So I don't think that Jamal Haynes is ever going to be I don't think he's ever going to carry the ball 250 times in an NFL season plus. Like, I don't think he's going to be that guy. But this is a kid that I think needs to touch the ball 200 plus times in a season, a part of a committee approach. 150 carries, 50 receptions, whatever it is, this kid is dynamite in the bottle, a part of a committee.
He's my RB2.
Whoa!
Jamal Haynes is my RB2.
I knew that was coming, by the way. Well, when you were texting me like that, I knew it was coming. Yeah. I knew it was coming. Yeah.
I was so enamored when I was watching him. He was a player who, like, instantly it was big play, big play, big play. And there's not a ton of games where he was supremely productive. As he talked about this past year, he wasn't fully available for every football game. But his impact is so heavily felt when he was healthy. He has the best acceleration out of any running back in this class not named Jeremiyah Love. He gets to that top gear in an instant.
It might be better than Love, to be honest. Because Love's 20 pounds heavier. You know what I mean? Right. Like, it's just different. So yeah, Jamal Haynes' Miami game is fun as hell because you only have to watch 5 plays and it's done because he only had 3 carries for 80-something yards because he got banged up. But the first 2 runs, Joe, was one like a 70-yard run or whatever, where the explosiveness is just like batty, dude. And almost he does get run down from behind, which again, like, I think he's more of a mid 4.4 type of runner than like a 4.3 something type of runner. But like, that doesn't matter. The acceleration is great. But I think it was the very next run, he has an open crease inside and he dead legged I can't remember if it was a linebacker or a safety, but he made him look so silly in space, man. I'm like, I only got like 5 plays of that kid in that game, but they were incredible. Like, absolutely electric 5 plays against Miami.
Yeah. He easily has some of the most impactful highlight plays that you will see from a running back in this class. I really think that Haynes, as we talk about for what the NFL looks for in explosive, space-killing threats, Haynes is exactly that. When given a little bit of space, he turns it into 20-plus yards. He has that wiggle. Yep. He has that, again, that quick acceleration is so, so important to me. I know that, like, it's such a cliche to bring up, but if the 49ers moved on from Christian McCaffrey, I feel like Jamal Haynes would be 1,000, 1,200-yard running back, a 1,500-yard scrimmage running back in that offense because you just scheme him touches, you scheme him opportunities, and he would be killing everybody. I didn't have a crazy high grade on him because, again, he's on the smaller side. I had a late second-round grade on him as my RB2, but I'm all in on Haynes to be huge for Georgia Tech this year and to be a big riser to become one of the highest drafted running backs in this 2026 draft. That does now set me up to deliver my number 3 running back because he was my number 2. I'm going to jump over to Nick Singleton, who was my number 3 running back. I really think that Nick Singleton lives up to the hype that we talk about with what he was as a recruit. He is an elite athlete. He has tremendous acceleration for a 220-pound running back. The size and athleticism coupled together is so hard to come by. I just get a little bit hesitant on his ability to change direction and his vision. He will, if given a wide open lane, in Andy Kotelnicki's offense, he's given a lot of these wide open lanes where he just needs to pick up speed in a hurry and attack downhill and he'll run somebody over. But if I'm asking him to change direction, he's almost moving so fast, it's hard for him to transition. And a lot of times, if those holes don't open up and it wasn't schemed open for him, he does hesitate. He does not find the best path for him to create for himself. Singleton will be productive in the NFL. Somebody will take him and use him effectively to his skill set. I just wasn't as juiced up as I am with some of these other prospects for his vision.
We share a similar perspective on Singleton, who is my number 2 running back in this class. Okay. I like him, but I wanted to love him, and I just couldn't love him. You know what I mean? Like it's so strange to say, but because he has all the tools. I mean, he's 6 foot, he's 220. I think he's actually listed like 228, and if he's actually 228, then he carries 228 so well. But he's incredibly dense, good lower body. I mean, Joe, if you watched the Notre Dame game, I mean, I know you watched it live, but when I was watching the all 22 of it. If they would have just rode that dude till the end of the game, they would have won it. Like he was killing him in the first half, like absolutely killing him because he is such an explosive downhill runner that has, I mean, he's got a gear, man. Like he's got a top gear that he might run like 4.42 or something, right? Like, I mean, he's fast. Like he can absolutely run. And the thing I like about him as well is he's a really comfortable receiver. I mean, he had like 50 something catches last year. So he'll catch the football. Physical, explosive, downhill runner. I agree his change of direction is not great, but the vision is what really just kind of holds me back a little bit. I think it was better this year. Like, I think that his feel was better than 2023, because I remember 2023, I'm just like, man, this guy is all athlete, no nuance. This past year, I do think there was a little bit more nuance that started creeping up, but I really do think, I think it was a good decision for him to go back. And I don't usually say that for running backs that... I don't usually say that for running backs because, in theory, I want running backs to get paid as quick as possible with the short shelf life, but he's a player that is not there yet. I think with another season, if he can just take a natural jump, this could be a David Johnson level type of player on the NFL level. Like he has that type of upside with the hands, physicality, and long speed that he possesses. There's a lot to like about Singleton, but he's not quite there yet as a complete prospect.
Yeah, he's going to go to a team that values running the football, and he might go somewhere that already has like an established starter, and I think he's just going to find easy production. Like Singleton's a guy who's inevitably going to become a 1,000-yard rusher in the NFL, but there does end up becoming a wall that he could run into, quite literally. He might end up running into the backs of his offensive line that is going to completely sap whatever production he's going to have. Great player. I'm excited with the jump that he took forward. I do think that he is probably the closest to his ceiling out of any of these prospects. My assumption for your number 3 is Quinten Joyner from Texas Tech / USC. Why do you like Joyner so much?
Oh man, he's so good, dude. I am so, because look, I liked Woody Marks, and Woody Marks went in the 4th round, and I think Woody Marks is going to be a good running back in the NFL as a compartmentalized player, like really good hands on the backfield, good feel for space. That's awesome. This kid should have touched the ball more, though. Like he just flat out should have. When you saw his opportunities,
shocking,
yeah. Dude. That it wasn't. It was like a fake reverse that he took down the sideline the one game where it was just what are we doing here, dude? Like he is, because he's not small either. I mean, he's like 5'11", like 210, 213. Like he's a good size back. But he has explosiveness and long speed. Like, it's all there. But you know the thing that surprised me, Joe, why I was immediately in? I thought going in, I was going to be like, okay, this kid's an electric athlete that still needs to learn how to play the running back position. But he is a lot more physical of a downhill kid than I expected him to be. Like, there was a lot of contact balance on film. There's a lot of breaking arm tackles on film. I think that this kid, with a good volume this year at Texas Tech, because he's going to be now, I mean, we just saw them run the heck out of the football, Texas Tech, over the last couple years because they had a very good running back themselves. But I really think that if Quinten Joyner is in a similar role where he gets 200-plus carries in 2025, I think we're going to look at this kid as one of the biggest risers in class because he is fundamentally big, fast, good contact balance. Everything is there. It's just now about like, hey, higher volume, show that you can do it because this kid has all the juice to be a very big riser in this class.
Joyner's the perfect epitome for this 2026 running back class because we had all of these big name guys last class that were the main running backs on all these teams.
Yep.
We have a lot of dudes across the landscape that just weren't getting the primary touches. But in the spurts that we can find on certain players, it opens your eyes. Joyner absolutely, in an offense that has proven that they like to run the football like they just did with Taj Brooks, Joyner is a lot more explosive than Taj Brooks. I really do believe that Quinten Jr. is going to end up being one of the biggest risers in this class, like we've talked about with a number of these players. I would take him over a number of other guys that I feel like I keep seeing hyped up by draft Twitter community members. I feel like that this is somebody who needs to be on more people's radars and is not because he was playing second fiddle and very rarely getting the football at USC behind Woody Marks.
And Taj Brooks, for people that don't remember, he actually came on this channel as well. Taj Brooks was a downhill hammer. I think Quinten Joyner could do some of that stuff, Joe, but I'm really interested to see what Coach McGuire and that Texas Tech offensive staff, what they have cooked up for Quinten Joyner, because he's a much different runner. Like, you could run outside zone, stretch, you can run inside zone, you can run some gap stuff. Like, he is a really all-around type of runner, which is why ultimately I'm betting on those traits, especially early on, because this isn't just like, there's some players, and you know how I am typically. I value guys that can do more, right? Like, if you're a guy that can show me that you can fit in multiple systems and you can be a high-level player in multiple systems, I'm going to value you more. And so there's a space for guys that are exclusive inside zone heavy runners. There's guys that are exclusive outside zone heavy runners. I value Quinten Joyner and his upside because I think that he could fit any running scheme that you need. And I also think he has natural ability as a pass catcher as well. So yeah, I'm in on the talent. Let's see if it actualizes into production as the number one back for Texas Tech.
Our obvious number one, the one true elite running back prospect in this class and one of the better running back prospects that we've had come out in the last couple of years, Jeremiyah Love from Notre Dame. He is elite in every physical category that we are looking for. Long speed and acceleration is tremendous. For a 212-pound running back, he also brings great physicality. He's not going to be a big-time thumper and he's going to run every dude over, but he is able to drive his legs through contact. And I love all of this paired with the vision and the contact balance. I think he's got some of the best body control that you're going to see in a running back prospect. I've compared him to Darren McFadden. I think that he is going to have just significant production for whichever team ends up drafting him. He should be the only running back, and I think will be the only running back that deserves to be in the first round conversation, even when we get to April.
It's very possible. Look, Joe, I remember 2 years ago when he was a true freshman and Audric Estime was the lead back, but Jeremiyah Love still got touches. And you saw it, right? You're like, oh, that kid's a different type of athlete. Like, and Audric Estime was a hammer, right? Like, he was a hammer, really good running back for Notre Dame. But anytime Jeremiyah Love has touched the football, it just looks different, right? Like, it just does because he's such a more natural, explosive athlete. This kid, and I've shared this before, this kid was a 10,500 meter runner in high school in the state of Missouri, Joe, and he didn't even take track seriously. Like, he just did it to stay in shape, and he was a 10,500 meter guy. Like, that's the type of he's going to run at least the 4.4s, but he might crack 4.4. Like, if he runs 4.39, I would not be shocked at all. But the key here is that he isn't this long-legged guy that takes a million steps to get up to top speed. Instant acceleration, at a guy that is 210 plus pounds. He was also a very gifted wide receiver. Like, he can catch the football out of the backfield. But the thing that really impressed you most is you saw the flashes of him as a freshman, and during his sophomore breakout, the difference between what you saw early on compared to what you saw in 2024 was the increased physicality. He's about 190 something pounds as a true freshman. He was 207, 208 pounds as a sophomore. Now he's over 210 pounds. And the attention to detail as a blocker, like, he blocks his butt off. He has attention to detail as a runner, became more nuanced. I mean, that run against Penn State was one of the most impressive 2-yard runs that you are ever going to see for a guy that is perceived to be a home run threat, which he is. The amount of contact balance and determination as a runner is rare, man. So if he takes a jump similar to what we saw freshman to sophomore, if we see one similar sophomore to junior, we are talking about a guy that not only could be in the Ashton Genty tier that we saw last year, this guy could be one of the best running backs that's come out in several years athletically. Like, he is incredibly gifted, leaps over everyone, runs through people, runs around people. Like, he is a special, special athlete at the running back position.
He will be incredibly exciting to track and to see what he does this season. Everybody's eyes are on Jeremiyah Love. Folks, hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed today's show. And comment below, which running back did we not include that you think deserves to be a top 10 guy? We'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your week.